Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Turf Today, presented by our good friends at Toro. Count on it. Turf Today is proudly brought to you by Toro, the only brand with a full line of equipment and irrigation products to keep your golf course in top condition. Toro is serious about research and development, and they're always out there listening to superintendents so they can create products that help you solve your biggest challenges. When it comes to local service and support, their distributor network is second to none. See how Toro is always solving and always evolving at toro.com. Have you guys been watching the Olympics at all? Watching some of the coverage?
I turned on the golf yesterday a little bit, was just doing some planning and stuff and sat out in the front room and turned on some golf. So, how
Nice.
about you?
Haven't caught the golf, but we've watched a bunch of different sports just kind of when it's on, like they randomly
Yeah.
jump from sport to sport. It's so cool. You could be watching swimming and then all of a sudden they're judo and but we
Yeah.
watched the gymnastics the other day. Simone Biles. Holy smokes. That
Yeah.
girl is unbelievable.
Yeah, she's a beast, man. She
Yeah.
gets it done every 4 years. It's crazy.
Yeah. And they save her to the end too. So all the other athletes went first and they're like, okay, they're all ranked. We'll see how this goes. And then I remember the commentator saying, well, Simone's going to have a more challenging routine than anybody else here. So you're going to
Yeah.
enjoy this. And then she just goes off and you're like, okay, yeah, she won.
Did you the one thing I've been starting to see all over the internet, social media is the pommel horse guy. Have you seen that?
Yeah. The pommel horse guy. And then the guy that was doing the shooting with no gear. He was just out
Yeah.
there.
Gotta love it.
He's like, oh, I'm a
Gotta.
natural shooter. Like, I don't need all the stuff.
Yeah.
There he
Hey.
is, live from the hotel.
Yeah. Well, Wi-Fi signal and not noisy and finishing yeah, stuff.
How far are you from the golf course then? Do they put you up pretty close?
Let's see here. I think I can show think
Oh boy.
think
Oh
that's
yeah.
the 18th hole right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Man,
What's
living
And
that?
there's cameraman
large.
over on the other side there. So
Living
we're doing all
large.
right.
Good for you.
Did you have the option to go stay at the Olympic Village or at the Athletes Village?
No. No, 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 no. And we're 35 miles outside of Paris.
Okay.
So there's venues kind of placed all over the place, all over everywhere, and like down by us, we had the mountain bike area and the equestrian area because we're over by Versailles.
Did you
Fancy.
bring your bike with you? See if you can like sneak into the road racing or anything?
Yeah, okay. And this is a never was. I was never. I do recreational now. Those days are long gone. But yeah, no, it's just I wish I had a chance to go out to some of the venues, but because we are outside the city by so far, and the hours that we're working and that kind of stuff, it's just, ah, I was just excited to be here in the first place.
Sure. Sure.
So I've
Tell
been
us
into
about your
Paris.
tell us your experience, Thomas.
It's been fun. Obviously, duh. It's an experience. And by and large, all of it has been positive. I had just finished a tournament prior to this. I was up at Lake Tahoe, the Barracuda tournament. Finished that on Sunday. So that was 13 days. Finished that on Sunday. Came home, drove down the hill, as I call it, from the Tahoe down into the Bay Area, which is only maybe 3.5, 4.5 hours. Depends on traffic. And got home reasonable hour. Just got my laundry done. To just put it right back into the bag and was on a 13, 14 hour flight. Flew into Munich. I want to say on Tuesday. I left Monday the 23rd and been over here, flew into Munich, then from Munich to Paris, and then been here ever since. So had what we would term an advance week prior to the men's competition. We're now in tournament week for the men's competition, being Friday. And then we have the women next week with their practice round starting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I think Monday, Tuesday, and then they play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I'll be out Sunday and be probably sleeping the entire time going across. But yeah, I got to see the opening ceremony, which was a little different. Opening ceremony were a bunch of venues stationed along the Seine River, and there were probably, I think there were maybe 5 or 6 different venues. And as the all the athletes were put onto boats, and they were from like the really big bargey type, you can imagine. I think Team USA has 575, 85 people. And then you have like Andorra that has 5 that was on a little party barge. Um, so
I
this
saw,
little boat, and then we were stationed along the river seeing them. And then we didn't know it, but kind of maybe an hour and a half into it, across the way from us in this building, which it looked like it was empty, people started coming out of the building, and then they had like some kind of art theatrical kind of singing extravaganza with fire and lights and stuff like that. And then as the boats made their way down to the next kind of pavilion, they got a live show and high wire acts. And then some of our other colleagues were at the Eiffel Tower, where they had all the athletes and the president and of France and the president of the Olympics were kind of doing their deal, and that kind of ceremony there. So it rained on us the entire time, and it kind of hasn't stopped raining since we've been here. It's been off and on, off and on. So the course looks beautiful as a result, but we're probably missing a little bit of performance, very little wind. So these guys are, as you can imagine, and probably starting to shoot lights out. I think Hideki shot 8 under on their first day, and it wouldn't be surprising if somebody matched that or came close to, 6 to 8s, that kind of day. So we're just going to take it for what it is, and it's been very well received. The course is actually really good design wise. The Le Golf National has 36 holes. And a decent practice facility. The practice facility is a public that you can just, kind of like a Harding Park thing where you just stop in and putt and do that sort of thing. And very popular in the area. So yeah, it's been the sightseeing highlights of my trip so far. So
how does it differ from a normal tour event for you, Thomas?
so first of all, is there's so many other golf agencies here. The whole thing is run by the IGF, which is the International Golf Federation. But then you have, just even in the, call it the organization of the event and the contesting of the event, you have the USGA, the RNA, PGA of America with Kerry Haig's here. You have the DP World Tour. You have the PGA Tour. I mean, there's everybody who's anybody in golf is there, and they've all kind of sent, 2 to 3 of their, highest caliber people, and we're all playing nicely in the sandbox. It's interesting to watch, and it's mostly in the rules side of things and the administration side of things. That everything from welcoming athletes to doing the operations, using a company called OBS. It's a different company than what we would normally use in the United States. Yet there's 1 or 2 people that are contributing from our side. Agronomy is done solely by Paul Vermillion and myself, and we have one consultant, Alejandro Reyes, who's been fantastic, and everybody knows who he is. And for those who don't, he was the superintendent here at Le Golf National for the 2018 Ryder Cup. And then he started his own consulting business and assisted Laura, his wife, at Marco Simone for the 2023. And then he's come back to help us here, knows the superintendent, Lucas Pierre, and they have a great relationship. And so we're getting a lot out of that relationship. So the four of us are kind of, figureheading the agronomic side of things without anybody else. Nobody from the USGA is contributing or DP World Tour from that matter, and that sort of thing. So just looking at the dynamics of how this all works, and it's just so big. We have about 35,000 people out on the golf course, but the media side of it is just massive. The security side of things is just massive. Yeah, a couple of times there's people that are stopping the superintendent. Hey, you can't go that way. And he's like, I'm superintendent. I can, so tensions get a little high. It might get a little hot, but it's just because you've got people who have been told one thing and there's really no clarification sometimes in that. And so, they've got, bomb cameras and it's just insane. The amount of levels of communication that you have to have. So yeah, it's a lot. It's educational. So doesn't get any bigger, I guess.
Well, that's amazing, Thomas. And you've been a part of a lot of big tournaments and big events and things like that. So we'd love to ask, is there anything that's kind of blown you away? I know you talked about some of the differences. It is the Olympics and there's a lot of different hands at work there. So is there anything you've kind of seen where you're like, wow, like this is a different level, like we are at the Olympics here?
Yes and no. And I would say it's probably more on the atmosphere side of things. The fans here are very complimentary of the other players. There's chants and cheers and that sort of thing. And I think from the players' perspective, it's different as well. The last two Olympics that we had, one being in Rio, we had there were some issues down there with the Zika virus and stuff, and then we had the COVID Olympics, which didn't have all that. This is the first one that's been like unchained. What is Olympic golf? And everyone that is here from the players has just said that, they're, they want to win this thing. At the same time, they've also been allowed to look at other venues and cheer on other, high value athletes and just friends and competitors. As you can imagine, they travel in certain circles. So they've had a fun time watching other athletes, and I'm sure other athletes will have fun watching them. So that's a little different. The venue side, it's not all that much bigger of a build out than maybe like a Memorial or a Bay Hill or a Genesis. Roughly the same, although they have one very large grandstand behind the 18th green. Other things would be kind of a little different on course setup. They use a little bit more of a graduated rough. So we start the fairways at like 9 millimeters. We go to a step cut of 25 millimeters. And then they have this blended kind of, when you say it's blended, but they have almost like a second or a first cut of rough that is at 63 millimeters. And then they go to an 83 millimeter rough, and then even further out is 120 millimeter. So it's just, I'm looking at that kind of going, all right, that's like four different mowers to do that stuff. Another unique thing here is that the whole place is from the maintenance operation is all electric. Fairway mowers, greens mowers, golf carts. It's all lithium powered electric equipment. And what's really nice about that is you can work on side by side holes for the most part because the equipment is so quiet. We usually have to worry about the roar of the diesel engines and that kind of stuff, and not, causing attention being drawn to us either through the telecast or, from other, just making noise for putts and stuff like that. And this has been like, wow, this is kind of cool. And hey, an advantage here. So this is the first time being at a tournament that has all electric. So that's been kind of it's been fun. It's been fun on that end of things. We have about 100 volunteers here as well. Have needed every bit of them as a result of some weather and the like, whether it's repairing bunkers, pumping fairways, that sort of thing. So, yeah, fun times.
Obviously, you guys have been hindered a little bit with weather, Thomas, but was the presentation of the golf course different from I guess how you would want to set it up for certain tour events? I mean, were you guys looking at it for keeping it a little softer, be a
No,
little more scoring?
no, no.
No.
Our whole drives, everyone's drive is to have, as firm a test as you can possibly have with this kind of stuff. And unfortunately, the weather just didn't cooperate
Yeah.
with us. The winds are light this whole week, probably like 10, 12 miles an hour the entire week. It was rather hot the day before the tournament. It's like 94, 95 degrees with a lot of humidity. Um, so now from that standpoint, then we're all in alignment as far as how we want to treat the event. But as you can imagine, though, there are multiple people doing a singular deal. So you're covered in triplicate as far as job responsibilities and the like, and everybody wants to be a part of it.
Sure.
I'm just sitting there listening to the rules officials, saying, "Hey, does anybody want to go to lunch? I'm happy to step in and watch," because they all want to get a piece of, it's just, I'm assuming that they all want a piece of the action. They want that ruling on number seven, get on camera or something like that. I mean, I would. I mean, so fair, a safe assumption, but probably maybe not entirely true. Um, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So.
Thomas, I wanted to ask you about the language barrier. You obviously have a lot of people from a lot of different areas and things, and then athletes competing from all over the world. So what's that
Yeah.
like?
So, not as difficult as you would expect or might anticipate. I would say a good 80% of the people have a basic level of English to start off with, and then I've probably been the one that's learned the most French along the way because I like to try for anybody who's spoken a language and tried to speak another language. It's always appreciated. you know you want to get that kind of input and sense of camaraderie, and it builds a relationship, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's the job assignments are all given out in French, and there's an English translation. So we have people from the Netherlands and Holland, and not the Netherlands is in Holland, but we have some British. We have three TPC people that are participating as well. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
You having to keep tabs of our friend Turf Monkey Boy down there or out there at all?
Actually, I just saw him today, and I got to respond back to Paul. My boss is calling me.
Yep, yeah,
Uh,
no, do your thing.
hey guys, I'm gonna have to call you back.
You got it.
No
You got
problem.
it. We'll see you soon.
Well, there you go. Right in the action.
Yeah, right in it, man. Pretty neat. Did you see Mike O'Keefe just sent us an email?
No, I didn't.
Said he's got one of his former interns that worked at Scioto, one of his past guys that traveled over here, was listening to the podcast while he was out there mowing tees at the Olympics.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. So it's everywhere.
I haven't looked at the country list that we have on our stats. Last time it was like 70 different countries, so I'm sure it's more than that at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when Mike's on there, the international
Oh,
stud's
right.
on, man, and it
Exactly.
goes worldwide.
I don't even know if I could name 70 countries myself. No
I couldn't
chance.
either. Well, that's it. He started talking about the graduated rough and the millimeters, and I just like, well, man,
Yeah, forget it.
where's my ruler at? I gotta have to figure that out. So,
It is pretty crazy though to have that many different mowers. I guess if you have 100 different volunteers though, you can make it happen.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for all these events, they'll get loaner equipment in from all over. I mean, so you go to like a U.S. Open, and it's insane. I mean, they've got 10 to 15 fairway mowers, and you've got 12 greens mowers or more, and it's just you get out there, you get it knocked out in an hour because they start play as soon as the sun comes up. Basically, these fields get so big, so you get so much loaner equipment, and yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Pretty neat to hear about the all electric stuff, though. That's pretty cool.
That is, yeah. That's certainly the way that the industry is going. So
Yeah,
that is cool. But it makes so much sense too to be quiet. That's one of the biggest challenges, right, with the machines. So
yeah,
that's gonna play a big part. I know
yeah.
we posted that video from the golf course yesterday, and there was a bunch of backlash because of how tedious everybody was being and how much extra work they were doing. But I mean, it's the Olympics. If you were cutting those
Yeah.
holes and you were setting up that golf course, would you not take as much time as you possibly could and made sure everything
No,
was perfect?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean it's the attention to detail, right? That's why these places host these things. That's why they get all these volunteers. You get that many people in so you can take care of every single detail. I
Yeah.
mean, and just make that presentation as perfect as it possibly can be.
Mm-hmm. Manicure every single blade of grass. Make sure
Yep.
she's perfect.
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
broadcast all over the world. I don't know, would it potentially be the biggest golf event viewed in the world?
It's a great question. I guess we'll find out with the ratings, huh? We'll see
Yeah,
what happens. I mean, I don't know if the Open Championship is one of the most viewed
right.
or
Or the
what, but
Ryder Cup, maybe. Or yeah,
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you've got representation from I don't know how many countries are represented this week, but yeah, you're going to have people from all over, all over the world playing. So you would imagine your viewership's going to be coming in from everywhere. So
hmm
I don't know. It's a great question. We'll have to look that up.
yeah. I guess most of them are already pro golfers, so they do have followings and people do watch them
Right,
on the tour. But
right,
it's a
right.
different stage here.
Well, I just wonder because, obviously with the Olympics, your qualification, you don't have to have the status for the tour, any of the DP or the PGA Tour or anything. I'm wondering if there's like some small country out there where they have a couple people that can, shoot 90, and then
Right,
just put them
right.
into the
They're in,
Olympics.
yeah. You're
Like,
in.
like these are our four best golfers that we have in our country. They all shoot 95. They're 20
Yeah.
handicaps, but
Right,
we're gonna
yeah.
have them in. Like
Oh my
that would
gosh.
be awesome.
That would be awesome, yeah.
I
Well,
might go
people
try and find for citizenship for one of those countries just to
Y-
play in the Olympics at
Exactly.
Riviera or
There you
something.
go. Yeah. I've had buddies that played overseas in different countries and competed in the Olympics for different countries, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. You're like, that guy's Canadian. Why is he playing for that team?
Well, we were talking about some of the sports and some of the things we've seen, like how we were out for dinner last night and they had the 3-on-3 basketball. Like what?
hmm
Like why do they have a 3-on-3 basketball? They already have a regular basketball, but right, it's
Yeah. And I
it's
always thought
so
basketball
random.
was a winter sport too, right? Is it not in the
Yeah,
Winter Olympics?
yeah, I know, I
What's
know.
going on?
Yeah,
My
no, they
favorite
just
thing about the Olympics or what people talk about is the fact that they should have like an average person compete in every event. So we can actually see how amazing these athletes are, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah. It's
just
like
pull
that old
somebody out of the
show.
crowd.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
You're
And
gonna do
you
the high
just
bars, all right? Chalk up, let's go.
yeah. Oh man. All I can imagine is Vince Vaughn, from old school, standing there doing the tea with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
I think
Oh,
people joke that it would be that much more watchable, but it's the biggest sporting event in the world, right? It's such a cool competition to see those people train. Some of those athletes train for years and years for a couple of races or a shot at the Olympics. So it's really cool to watch some of that stuff and take it all in.
it is. And for some sports, it's the biggest that it gets, right? I mean, gymnastics, I don't correct me if I'm wrong. I can't think of a bigger championship event or whatever for gymnastics and swimming and a lot of these things. Golf, I think maybe the four majors are equal. I don't know. In these players' minds, I mean, like Thomas just said, they're all here, they all want to win it. But, they have these other platforms, these other events that they can go play that are held in such high regard. But for a lot of people, like you said, they work so hard for so many years, and this is the pinnacle of those certain sports. So that the emotion of the Olympics is something that's obviously really special.
Yay.
He's
Did you
back.
get it taken care of?
Yeah, just some sand on the green.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and
Did,
it's Communication out here is off. We've got these push to talk radios, and the guy who asked for the blower didn't use the push to talk.
Uh,
And
yeah,
then so WhatsApp is huge here.
yeah,
So it's like then he sends a note through WhatsApp that I was only just added to the group today, and you're like, geez.
yeah, fun.
So it's not like a cup was damaged or anything like that, but it's probably the only call we'll get all week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so they don't have a blower station at like every hole just for something like
There's
that.
no trees out here.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
there's
so there's
like
no need.
you're kind of like leaves.
Yeah,
So and it's for sand. I mean, normally we're not blowing for sand,
right.
but
Interesting. Yeah, it is what it is. Duty
yeah,
calls.
yeah. So any event, things are all good.
So what's this is kind of big preparation for you getting ready for what 2028 when it's here in LA then, right?
Yes, there's a lot of note taking. We're working with the French Federation of Golf, the FFG here, where we would be working with the USGA there, or call it the, I don't know, Southern California Golf Association or something like that. But the French Federation is a little bigger than what we would, deal with. So yeah, there's all sorts of new and exciting things that are going to come of that. Um, the level of tournament that we do at Riviera will make the turf side of things fairly easy. As I said, this is a public facility, so there's a certain amount of, well, let's not aerify or, the likes, and because it's a money driven thing. You go to a place like Riviera, and believe me, they're investing in the right arenas. So, and that's not to say that they don't do that here as well. I mean, this golf course is in really, really good shape, and I'm not just saying that. So, they've come around, but they're also limited. They're limited with the government as far as what they can spray, what they can do. Working hours, they're very strict on working hours. There's a maximum limit for the week. You have to have a day off, including myself, even if you're working here. So, yeah, you got to play along with the game, you know. So yeah, it's it's all new and exciting.
when it comes to the Olympics as a whole, is there something that you weren't really ready for, or something that's kind of blown you away that we don't really get to see on TV or you don't really get to experience until you're there in person?
I think it's just perspective. I mean, it's not to say that I've seen everything. I've definitely picked up some things. I always do at every event, so I would say that that's Olympic specific. But the fact that all of this is being done in like probably three, four languages, everything from French to Swiss to us. There's the language, and it's staggering how many people are fluent in more than one language. Just like, oh God, yeah, Spanish. I've got that one kind of down, but use of translating apps has been a huge boon for us. Um, it's just I guess the level and planning of organizing this event, because it's not just a golf event. It's the Olympics. You are a venue within 100 venues. There's 10,000 athletes. And what you do in one venue affects so many other venues, as far as protocol. If you can imagine you're hosting Olympics, there's a security protocol for every event. You can't be special. It has to be done a very certain way. To see a city rally their entire transportation system, give out cards for using the subways and the trains, and not having to pay for those. The level of the National Guard here, staggering, staggering. They literally locked down the entire center of Paris. I had pictures of the Arc de Triomphe with no cars. That doesn't happen. I mean, maybe for the Tour de France, but not for the entire day. I mean, it's nuts. But are the times that are happening in the world are such that if anything goes wrong, you don't want to be the country that, didn't respond or anything like that. And they've done a great job. And sure, it's a hassle. It's an absolute hassle trying to get 75 greenskeepers through a security, they're doing airport security level checking. You got to run your bags through, scanners, and you're going through a metal detector. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. I had dogs sniffing in my room on a lockdown, looking for stuff. Okay, that's never happened. And I welcomed it. Not a big deal. So and that's for me, I love that. I mean, I love the non-routine of it. It doesn't phase me. Um, I look forward to it. Ordering meals on an entirely French menu is a little challenging. Yeah. That's and I did foie gras. I could not do the escargot. Just could
Oh,
not
no
get
way.
just couldn't get there. Frog's legs, yes, but escargot,
I'd have a tough
Thi-
time with the pain au chocolat, the chocolate danishes they do over there. I'd put on so much weight.
it's big one here is Nutella.
Nutella,
Oh,
okay.
really?
Nutella is big. Nutella and Fanta. You're like, huh,
Interesting.
okay. Yeah.
My kids would love it over there then. That's
Fromage,
perfect. Yeah.
cheese.
How's the Sauvignon Blanc over there?
Drinking Sancerre. Yeah, a little bit of Sancerre, which is Franche, in the same kind of palate zone, I would believe.
Okay.
Heineken, yeah, just had, not that I get off the rails, but can you get off the rails with Sauvignon Blanc? But um,
I'm sure
yeah,
if you try hard enough, you could.
I'm not chugging Sauvignon Blanc does
No,
not sound appealing, nor would it
no.
look proper.
No.
Uh, yeah, I've had a puffy vest on the entire time, which has been
Oh,
good.
true to the
Uh,
brand.
yeah, right. So, yeah, I mean, I wish I could answer that there's some just wildly different. Uh, Getting another telephone call. Hold on a
Oh,
sec. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to depart again. So
yeah. No worries. No worries. It's
never to return again. But
no, no worries.
yeah. So go USA. We'll have fun out there.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
for taking the time, Thomas. Take care.
Bye.
Well, there you go.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, man is busy.
Yep. Yep. He's in the thick of it over there. So I think it's what 2:30 over there. So yeah,
Okay, yeah.
they've got play all over, and so duty calls. So I was glad he was able to jump on and join us for a little bit and give us a quick update.
Yeah, that was great. A lot of great information there, and it's the biggest stage in the world for sports, so it is really cool to get a little insight from the course. He was literally right at the course too, so that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, so neat. Looked like they had a little hotel or resort area right there on the golf course, so couldn't ask for better accommodations. Makes it easy to take that little break and jump on with us and then head straight back out. So cool setup.
Yeah, really appreciate him coming on today. It was fantastic.
Good deal. All right, so you packing up and heading to the lake?
We are, yeah. I can hear my son just running around the house right now. He woke up, came right
Nice.
to the bed. And, Daddy, are we going to the cottage? Yeah.
Nice.
Give us a little bit of time here, but yeah.
Awesome. So the folks up there already then too, or what?
They're up there. My sister's heading up, and then our cousins have a cottage across the lake, and their whole families are up, and all the kids.
Oh
And
man. Oof.
yeah, on the pontoon, and my dad's birthday this weekend too, so we're gonna go golfing on
Nice.
Sunday.
Outstanding. We'll enjoy.
Okay, buddy. I'll work on it.
All right, man. Sounds good. Have a
Okay.
good one.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks.